Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at my third-party track record results on myfxbook.com. I do this for a number of reasons, but the biggest reason is because I value my audience. I do want to show you guys real results from a third-party track record to show you that I'm not full of it. And again, I say that out of respect for my audience because there's a lot of stuff that's out here making people believe that they can turn little accounts into huge amounts of money in a very quick fashion, and it results in a lot of people losing a lot of money and having a bad image of what the markets really are. The markets are a way to slow and steadily compound money over time and build money into wealth. And I have believed this since I've started trading, or I guess not since I've started, but since I've become profitable. It's a way to grow money, not a way to make abundance of money very, very quickly. And chasing a dream can result in a lot of pain. So my goal here is to show you guys some real results. So what this is, I'm going to show you, I'm going to refresh the page so I'm not doing anything. I will say right off the bat, oftentimes people will try and do something where they go like this and they inspect element and they actually can go in here and change the values of something. So like if I wanted to come in here and say 485, right? And you can actually see it appears as if it's real. Right? So this is like manipulation. That's like total fraud. But what you can always ask for is if somebody gives you a link or you just refresh the page, you can see it refreshes the data from their end on their server side. So there you go. Just a little bit of transparency there. My goal with this is just to show you some results and talk a little bit about my own trading performance. So I have been trading on this MyFxBook account since October of 2020. So I've been on MyFxBook tracking my results for a little over 2 years now, actually like 2 years and a couple months. I've been tracking this performance and just showing some of the ups and downs. And there has been ups and downs when it comes to my trading. So just going through this, what you can see from the graph is this is just showing my equity versus my balance chart over this amount of time. And there have been times where things go really, really well. So for example, if we were to look in isolation at this period, you'd say, oh my gosh, this is awesome. We went from 25% up to 50%. That's a 25% growth in just a few months. That looks fantastic. But then if you were to look at this period of time, you'd say, Nick, you suck at trading, right? Everything you do is just going down, right? The point is long-term performance matters a lot. And oftentimes people will try and show you a snapshot where they look like heroes, but what matters very much when it comes to trading for your own growth, whether you're looking at a profitable trader on the internet or not, is how they do over a long stretch of time. Because anybody can do really well in the short term. The stats on the long term matter the most, okay? So here's a couple highlight things. Overall, this account is up 75.64%. And this gain here just shows how much percentage has been gained on the account overall, pretty obvious. But this one, absolute gain, this one takes into account deposits. So if you deposit, it's going to actually reduce your absolute gain because the account that you have here, if you add more money to it, of course, the gain is going to diminish. I'm not a huge math guy, but I'm sure many of you guys can understand where I'm going with this. Like as you add to an account, the gain changes a little bit. But the gain just shows you the raw results on the amount. So 75.64% gains overall. And if we take a look at this thing, that's coming out to a monthly of 2.21%. And I know that very quickly people are like, are you kidding me? That's the best you could do? I get it. 2.21% is not like it's incredibly fascinating or impressive. But for me, I'm here to do slow and steady trading. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I'm not here to try and flip accounts quickly. I'm here to grow accounts slow and steady through what I know works well, which is, again, low risk trend following. That's my style. That's what I preach. That's what I talk about all the time on my channel with my discretionary trading models. So max drawdown at one point, we were down 19%, which is a substantial drawdown, in my opinion. That is pretty high, higher than I would have even liked it to happen. We had a lot of volatility. This has been traded through COVID. It's been traded through some major Brexit news announcements, presidential elections here in the US, congressional elections, Ukraine, right? There's been so many events that we've traded through. And so you take into account stuff happens in markets, and by stuff, you know what I mean. stuff happens, right? So if you know stuff happens in markets and you're still able to generate a positive return, to me, that's something to be proud of. Whether it's 1%, 0.5% per month, 2%, 3%, doesn't matter. If you're profitable, you're doing something that most people are not able to do. And so the drawdown at 19% is relatively high, but compared to the overall gain, I think it is still a worthwhile risk. I started this account a little bit higher risk, and I've mentioned in my last reporting a couple months ago when I did an update on this, that I had sort of reduced my risk tolerance on this account, that I'd reduced my sizing substantially, which is why if you look at this period of time, things were very volatile during 2020. I eventually slowed it down and just sort of went way more into the slow and steady route, which has generated this slow and steady growth on the account. So let's go down and we'll take a look at some more stats here. If I go down into this area, this is where we can see the win rate. And if we look at the win rate here, you can see that I have won 44% of my trades and lost 56% of my trades. I've taken 344 trades, which is a good sample size on this account. So at almost 350 trades, only 44% of them I've actually made profit on. I've had a net profit of 13,000 pips on this account. My average win is 300 pips and my average loss is 170 pips. Now this takes into account different assets, which kind of jumbles the numbers a little bit. I trade several assets on this. I trade gold, the S&P, so different things have different pip movements, which jumbles up all the average pips. But again, that is what the average comes out to be. Profit factor of 1.32. I know that's not incredible, but for me, again, as long as I can do this long-term consistently, that is what matters the most. Again, 2 years matters the most. If I can do something for a long stretch of time consistently, even if it's a lower, not the most impressive stats in the world, still fine by me, because long-term trumps everything else in my view. Because something can work really well for 3 months and then collapse on the 4th. But if you do something very consistently that works for years on end, that is showing something that is really, really durable, something that's robust enough to handle Russia invading Ukraine or COVID, right? Different things that can be catastrophic to trading accounts. If you can survive those things, that means you have sort of like the tortoise versus the hare approach, right? If you're the tortoise, you don't care to be fast, you just care to be consistent and steady and eventually reach the finish line, right? The hare oftentimes falls asleep on the tree and lets the hare pass. You guys know the story. Anyways, let's take a look at some monthly performance here. So since 2020, I've had, we started out really well. This was actually the elections in 2020, which was one of my best trading months ever. We caught some NASDAQ moves, which were fantastic, and we had nothing close on October, so the start of the first month was nothing. November was huge. December was down. Then we go into 2021. Here's a full year of data. So we had a really great January, which was also coming off that runoff from the elections. We had some hype around the Joe Biden, Donald Trump election that was still going on. That was a huge month for me, and I tend to really like those volatile events. In fact, some of the volatility from major collisions and things happening in the world actually tend to be really good for my trend following approach. So that might actually be contributing to the performance of this account. So if I look, February down, March up, April down, May up, down, up, down, up. And I actually remember somebody said to me, they were like, Nick, you should just trade every other month, because it seems like you have one good month, one bad month, and you just alternate, which was the case actually for the entire year of 2021, which is kind of crazy. Let's see if that did not stay the case in 2022, but it is funny how consistently I would make and then lose a little, make and then lose a little. But yeah, so anyways, here is 2022 up till now. This is a full year once again of performance. January up, so we had several winning months this year. Although this year, I told you I sized down substantially. My risk went down a lot. So you can see some years or some months I had bigger gains, like really big gains. This year, not so many. I had a couple really consistently good months, but nothing like 20% gains in a month. I really reduced my position size in this account and continue planning to do so. I am not looking to grow this account quickly. This is, for me, a long-term slow growth account. And so there it is. That is some results for you. Again, remember, when it comes to MyFxBook, this is a third-party site. And one thing I always say to my followers and to my listeners is that when you are browsing around Twitter or YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or wherever you watch, TikTok, remember that many people fake stuff on this thing. I am not claiming to be the almighty greatest trader of all time. Not here to do that. I am here to use the markets for what I think they're intended to do. Help you grow money slowly and steadily. And all the people who try and blow up or run it up quickly, they blow out and they go away from the markets. It's such a consistent thing. I've been on YouTube for years. I've been trading for 6 years now. I've seen so many people come and go. And this is what I always say to people when it comes to who you follow and who you consume content from. I understand, out of respect for my audience, I show a third-party track record. Many other great traders on YouTube do the same, and I really appreciate and respect people who do that. People who do not do that, just remember, they're not all fake, but remember, it is easier to appear legit than it is to prove it. And I want you guys to remember that when you go around and whoever you watch, I'm talking every single creator that you watch consistently, ask yourself, do they show a third-party track record? And ask yourself, if they're not doing that, why aren't they? And the answer, almost uniformly, if somebody has the results, they'll be able to show it. If they don't have the results, they won't be able to show it. The reason I say that to you guys is because I care about my audience. You guys have given me a platform. I've been so thankful to be able to do this for the last several years of my life. I am thankful for that. When it comes to this stuff, I want you to be aware that many people are out here taking advantage of people who don't know any better. And when you are looking at people with results, you can trust that they actually have the results they're showing you. But if they don't show you any MyFxBook, if they don't show you any results, you can't trust what they're saying. You don't know for sure if they're speaking the truth. You're going off of a hunch, and they could just be taking advantage of you. So there it is. Thank you guys for tuning in to this video. I hope this was helpful to you, and I do hope that you have a great rest of your day. Thanks for tuning in. It looks like you made it to the end of one of my videos. Thank you so much for supporting my content. It really means the world to me. And down below in the description, I put together some of my best resources for aspiring traders who are looking to improve. I've got some free downloads that could help you, some broker recommendations, and if you'd like to join our Discord or get access to some of our trading software, all of that will be linked down below in the description. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.